Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Dale and I are back as we discuss Wolf Creek 2, directed by Greg McLean. The outback once more becomes a place of horror as another unwitting tourist becomes a prey for a crazed, serial killing pig hunter, McTaylor. This movie was made on a budget of $1.7 million and brought in $4.7 million at the box office, which
Yay!
still decent returns.
It is. It's bloody amazing, isn't it? That was quite a small budget, tiny budget.
But you can see where the budget was spent. A lot of action sequences, a lot of
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
some movies today struggle with making that look authentic.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, the gunshots and all sorts of things, Oh, decapitations and it was great.
Yeah. But even the big things with the car chase scenes and the explosions, I don't know if they were using scale models because that's what a lot of them do. If they actually went to
Mm,
that detail, I would imagine so, but they look pretty convincing.
they
Like
did,
it's
didn't it? Especially with the grass burning,
mhm.
that made it just look so authentic. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
The only bits of the fire at the start got me a bit. It was a bit sort of digitalized
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
police car.
Yeah. That was just a little bit, wasn't it? Yeah. It looked real, and then it didn't look real. So
Yeah, it
yeah,
was like
much.
almost like a screenshot or a green screen of a fire somewhere else was put over the top of it, and it just lost its.
Yeah.
But once again,
But great hook.
mm,
Great hook.
but for a movie like this, the budget it's visceral. It holds up. There's like I said, there's movies that I look at the stuff Bloomhouse puts out. It's bland. It's boring.
Yeah,
It
Hollywood stuff.
feels fake.
Yeah,
They use too
yeah.
much CGI, and it just looks horrible. This has. I put that as one of my notes. Actually, you know what I mean. It's a sequel, and there's always a danger with the horror movie that the sequel doesn't have its edge anymore.
Yep.
But this kept it, and I think it was more later in the movie because there's a bit of a danger. He was going to be like a wisecracking Freddy Krueger type.
Yeah. Joker almost,
Mm.
that's yeah, you're
It
right.
was.
But that laugh, he's perfected it, hasn't he?
Mhm.
What a chilling laugh. Ooh.
Oh, he's embodied
Mm.
the character without a doubt. But yeah, you could just see it hitting right up to the edge there, where it could be wisecracking, 20
Whole way through.
sequel serial killer movie.
Yep.
But they managed to rein it back and not go over that precipice, which is always a danger.
Yes. No, this is a fabulous sequel, I have to say, because some sequels are just crap, you have to be honest. Some of them really are. And this one just lived up to it, just lived up to the first one. I think they're both as good as each other, really.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there's a third one coming out apparently, as we've talked about before,
Oh,
so that'll be
yeah.
interesting.
Did you kick him from the group or did he
Yeah,
throw a
kicked
stop?
him. No, booted him. Sorry, Mike, whatever your name was,
That
but
guy's
dude,
not right in the head.
no, I know.
I was
I
starting to
know.
post another even after we had done this, and I posted the
Yeah.
like the last stream to go. Well, yeah, we talked about you to see if I'd watch it and take a hint.
Yeah. I wonder if he has.
No, he didn't because there's other messages on other videos that were popping up on your channel. He's commented on, and I'm like, "Oh, you're something I can't do with you." Just
Oh, no. I've blocked and banned him because I don't want that sort of if you got something to say, I want an explanation. Hey, I don't want to hear your dribble and your rants. I want an explanation. And no, we don't have a bloody Hollywood on speed dial or freaking Greg McLean or, you know, like you said
no, but
last time.
even at that, that was just pure obsession. That guy's honestly, he's a dangerous society. That like you don't get that
Yeah.
randomly obsessed about one little tiny aspect of something and not have something wrong with you.
Yeah, I know. Oh dear.
But yeah, we start off. It's the middle of nowhere, big long
Yes.
stretch of road, and you've got two I don't know what are the Keystone cops, just
Yep.
absolute disgrace of the badge. This is what gives police a bad name. It's these two.
Corrupt cops. Mm-hmm.
Jokers are just looking to pick on someone, looking for easy targets that don't actually want to do their job.
And they chose the most Australian looking men to be the cops. I mean, they are the epitome of what an Australian man looks like, Um, honestly, they just, I don't know how they managed to do it, but they did it. They chose the perfect characters for those cops. Oh my God. They were hot. I mean, I guess along stretches of roads, don't get, you see a car once every 5 hours, you get bored, which is obviously what they did. God, they chose the wrong person to mess with.
Yeah, it was kind of set. You could kind of see where it was going with the setup. But yeah, the biggest tragedy was you just know you're dealing with an absolute bell end if they have zips on their boots.
Oh my God.
Like if laces are too much for you. I remember those back in the day. Those you actually attach them to the side of the boot because you're laces are too hard. Like get a grip.
Yes, no, very old school, very old school. Oh my God. Yeah, they were great. I'm glad what happened to them. They deserved it.
Yeah, these are two characters I felt absolutely zero sympathy for. However, this is where my concern started with the movie. If that makes sense. I know this is the danger of sequels, isn't it? They want to do something fresh, they want to change direction, but this could borderline on the ridiculous that basically Mick Taylor's just rampaging around and nobody knows where he is or caught him and blah blah blah. And you're like, nah, you're going a wee bit too far, rein it back. And thankfully it went back to
Yeah,
basics.
yeah, yeah. There was that could have quite easily have tipped over, definitely, but no, they didn't. Thank God. And I honestly don't know how Jared, the actor, I don't know how he got through that film. There's some real diabolical stuff going on in this one, and he must need some sort of therapy afterwards, because
I, I think what it is, because, they don't, it's not like all at once, it's scenes.
yes,
And we
yes,
don't see that there's a whole crew there and stuff. And then when the director obviously says cut, it's like, go
yeah,
shake it out,
yeah,
help the person back up, shake them, hug them, whatever. Um,
yeah,
what was the movies? I've heard that loads of time with some scenes that were intense that they have to just
yeah.
stop after everyone and just
Make sure
get out of
everyone's all
character
right.
for a moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's yeah. Anyway, that's just something I could, because I think this one was a little bit more vicious or a bit
Oh,
more
yes, without a doubt.
visceral. Yes, so up the ante in the horror scenes, definitely. So yeah, my heart kind of went out to him thinking, these things you're having to do. Oh my God, but he's still got that sense of humor while he's doing it. And it's like, oh God, I don't know how some people meant. I mean, you look at Jason and Michael Myers, they cover their faces,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Mick, you have to see all his expressions because there's nothing hiding his face. So he has to bloody nail it, eh? Otherwise, it'd be a
But
flop.
here's the thing about Jason and Michael. They're big, big muscle bound, go to the gym, basically people that would stand out in the street.
Yes,
What is frightening about Mick is he's your everyman.
exactly.
He's you pass by him on the street, and that's the frightening thing
It is. It's
is
terrifying.
that like he has to earn a living. I know he sort of lives off the grid, but at the same time, he has to earn a living, so he must interact with people, and he can go into the towns and stuff. So he has to be able to pass himself, which is the whole point of a serial killer. They mask themselves in
Yes,
public, and
blend
they're
in.
almost well liked and
Yep,
blah blah blah.
yep,
He portrays that excellently. Where yeah, Jason and Michael are ridiculous characters. They are what they are.
yep.
But
Compared to this
mhm,
character, yeah,
the Mick
no
Taylors are the one that
comparison.
I'm worried about more
Yep.
because they're the ones that are active predators.
They're our neighbours. They're the ones that work in shops and, kill pigs or whatever. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? They're just the normal. people. I mean, yeah, very scary prospect.
So, is there a big thing between North Australia and South Australia?
I don't think so. No,
Because that's what the
no.
remember the police were bringing up. You go back down south where you belong, and blah blah blah. We don't want your type up here. You know hillbilly type.
Yeah, well, you're right. There could be some animosity between states. I mean, yeah, I'm not too sure.
Also, anywhere
I
there's
would
people, there's
say so.
always.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just like we have with the North Island and South Island, we mock them for being country bumpkins and stuff like that, and we're all city people. So yeah, I suppose it might be a little bit because that was mentioned in the film, like you said. So yeah, or maybe it was just a case of get the fuck home, get out of our territory, and
Mm,
he's happy to say he was from up north or down south,
he said he was
whatever it
from
was.
down south.
Yeah, exactly. So they probably, yeah, those cops are very territorial, I have to say. Mm,
Well, I think what likes of them, they're bullies,
yeah,
and it's just an excuse for the bully. It's the "oh you" sort of thing. You turn around and react, they're on you, and nothing you say, they've made up their mind what they're going to do.
yeah. But I mean, those cops were only in it for such a short time, but they managed to make us totally hate them,
Hmm.
so that when they get their beans, we're like, yeah, well, you deserve that, So that's what I appreciate about these films is that they do focus on certain things and they can do it in such a short time, like the cops. There was a little bit of a build up, but then, it's only what 4 minutes, 5 minutes
Yeah,
of
it's
that scene,
it's the
and
beginning. I thought they were going to be taken, and that was going to be like half the movie before we got to the
yeah,
tourists.
thank goodness it wasn't. Yeah, yeah, that was just a brilliant hook. I think they had the right amount of time, the good amount of horror. I mean, whoa, that scene with Mick with the gut, just blasting. How far away was he?
Hmm. Also,
Oh,
what caliber rounds they were? That's some serious ammunition he's using.
it is. It is. I mean, that's military grade. I mean,
They're
he could
taking
be a
the top
murderer.
of someone's head off. Like, I don't know whether it's a bit overexcitement with the special effects, but yeah, that's.
It was fucking beautiful.
Mhm.
Sorry, I have to say,
That's
it was gorgeous. Yeah, but I mean, he should be, a mercenary or a bloody in the SIS or something,
yeah, you can
SAS
picture
or
him.
something.
He was probably kicked out for being a psychopath. He's the sort of ones that
Probably.
don't get in because he's nuts and it'll all come out. But
Yeah,
this is once again, it's a low budget movie, not insignificant, but it's a not a big budget movie, and the special effects with the camera cuts, like that scene with the head, it was so quick, and the managed to blink that they're not lingering on it. Where this is the problem that did in the 80s is they use practical effects they got, but the waved it in your face, the camera was so
yeah,
slow that you lost the effect. But this
that's
was
right.
the way they've done it with it's slow where it needs to be slow and it's fast where it needs to be fast, and the cutaways and the blink, it's
Yes,
great. It does feel like it's happening in real time.
it does. It does. The pacing's really great. Yeah.
Oh, there's Chris on. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
It did. That's what we were just mentioning, that there's a danger with sequels that they don't. We're just sort of going through how they've managed to change it up a bit. We're still really on at the start of the film,
Yeah, only 5 minutes in.
but we obviously move on, and then we get to the real sort of story. There's a few twists in this because, like I said, I'm expecting to follow part of the same formula because we know what his pattern is. But we meet Rutger and his I can't remember his girlfriend's name. But they're
Cat.
Cat. Oh,
Yeah.
Katrina, Katarina, or something. And
Oh,
two German
yeah.
tourists. But we sort of see them. They're going from place to place. They're hitchhiking.
Mm. There was a great little scene, I think, with those two that build up, them going on holiday, and then we get to see the beautiful backdrop of Australia. the rivers and then the desert. So you get to see the change in environment, which is really cool. And I like the way it built those two up for us to like them.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you know, those two are real. This is what really happened. It's based on a true story. So it's yeah, I don't know how they managed to get away with that, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, I like the build up of those two and the journey they take as they're going backpacking around Australia. I think that's really sets the scene nicely.
Actually, I forgot about the intro credits. 30,000 people go missing a year in Australia, and 90% of them are found. There's 3,000 people just go missing, never to be found again.
Yeah, there's too many people.
Not a good statistic.
It's not. It's not. People are told not to backpack around Australia anymore. It's just not worth it. Yeah. It's a dangerous place. These animals, you could be in the desert you could take the wrong road and you're in a desert and you can't get out and you run out of petrol. You're a goner, basically. It's not coyotes. It's not dingoes you have to worry about. It's the bloody snakes and the spiders and the snakes.
Yeah, everything's basically trying to kill you.
Everything in Australia is trying to kill you, yeah.
Yep.
Which is why I don't understand why all my family live over there now. I'm like, what? They can't hang their washing out because there's snakes out there. Oh, better money.
The Bushmasters? No, it's an African. Ours, like, was it 90% of the world's most deadliest snakes happen to be in Australia?
Are in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
This is a lot.
Wee bit much for me. That's because I'm stupid. I always try and pet the puppy.
Oh yes, of course.
So if something's coming at me, I'm going to try and pet it.
Yeah, or the hippo, eh?
Yep. I would. I'm not stupid. I am. I'll admit it.
I am too.
I don't care if it's got teeth, claws, or whatever. It's a puppy,
Oh dear.
So I can't work with the injured animals because I'm too stupid.
Oh no. Yeah.
I don't have that sense of, I'd have that sense of complacency. I'd, just cuddle them stuff because yeah.
Oh God. I gotcha.
But we see, the couple, and they're trying to hitchhike, and obviously Mick appears, and we think to yourself, oh right, here we go, it's about to start. But it doesn't. He drives off and leaves them.
Yes. Wow.
But that's because the other truck turns up, and it's this guy's been. So. Yeah, this guy's been playing this game a long time.
Yep.
And
he would have heard the car. He would have heard the truck coming. He would have heard it before he saw it. So I think that's why he took off. So that was a cool little thing to do. I think that was really cool.
But it balances out. This is the bit where, the first scene with the police, you're thinking, oh, is this going to be absolutely stupid and ridiculous? And basically there's a whole litter of trucks and bodies and, just stupidity. But that scene then brought it right back, in my opinion.
It certainly did. It did in lots of different ways. Like I said, with the environment and the building up of the characters and who they are and all that sort of stuff, the German backpackers, so yeah, I think their characters were really good. I actually liked their acting as well. It was quite good. Yeah.
There's no bad acting in this, that's the thing.
Not at all, eh? No.
It's a very contained movie as well. There's an opportunity, once again, if the sequels to try and go bigger and get more ridiculous. I felt like it was more of a bloated cast in the first one than this.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you had town and you had the three of them and you had, the whole scene with the cameras and the families and stuff. It felt a little bit bloated in certain parts of the first one. Still really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But this managed to bring it all back in. It felt more
fun. Yeah. Way more victims and people and all sorts going on in this one.
But that's more the aftermath. But the actual characters and acting felt, felt a bit more claustrophobic, as in you could sort of step in their shoes for a bit because they're completely isolated.
Yes, yes, that's a great way to put it. That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so obviously Mick hasn't forgotten about it. Wolf Creek itself doesn't seem to be. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be somewhere worth traveling to as a spot.
No, no, I think it's only because of the crater. But then again, I don't think this is real. Like the Wolf Creek actual thing is a fictional thing. Like I think there is like Wolf Creek, but I think it might be called something else.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up because I'm pretty sure they've called it some. The actual real name of it's not Wolf Creek, as I recall.
Typity,
But
typity, type.
it does not look hospitable. I don't. I mean, people only go because of the fact it's a asteroid or meteorite crater.
It's known as the Wolf Creek meteorite crater, as a real and well preserved meteorite impact
Oh, it
crater
is.
located in northern Western Australia.
Oh, that's what it
Serving as
is.
a central feature of Wolf Creek Meteorite Crater National Park.
Okay, so what northwest did you say of
Northwest
in
Australia.
Western Australia? Okay, so that's what it
So
is. They've changed locations, so because they're saying Wolf Creek is up by Darwin, which is in the Northern Territories, but it's actually located in Western Australia. Okay, that's what they've done.
So there it is for real.
Wow,
That looks
spectacular.
better than the film,
That looks way different than the film.
doesn't it?
Like it looks smaller, if you know what I mean. In the film, it actually looked way larger than
But
that.
it looks more overgrown in the film, as if it's, unless you're looking from a helicopter, you don't really get the idea
Yeah,
of
because
it.
there were a couple of scenes in there where we got to see helicopter shots. I don't
Hmm.
think they were drones; they were too high up. Yeah, and it looked like that, but yeah, like you said, more overgrown. It could have been that time of year, possibly.
It's sandy desert, right?
Sandy desert. Oh, see, they've changed. Yeah, the real name's got an E on it.
Yeah.
Second largest crater in the world. Ooh.
Yeah, 880 meters across and a depth of about 60. Sightseeing, walking, photography, nature, public activities. 200 meter broad. Yeah, but what else is it about? What I'm saying is, it's not the actual
Yeah,
creator itself. It's
just
tours.
even the drive out. I mean, and I mean, it didn't even look like a.
So
Yeah,
there's
it's not a place I'd want to go.
there's organized
Definitely.
tours,
All right. Mm-hmm.
scenic flights, Northwest Regional. Right, because there would need to be, yeah, because there we go. There's bits, pools, and what I mean, there needs to be something else. It doesn't seem to me like a location that you would actually just go out of your way to visit. It seems far too out of the road.
Yeah, unless it was like a nice I don't know, camping ground in there or
Or
something,
resort
you
or
know.
something that,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, what I noticed about both the films was that first off, the first one, it looked like it took 3 hours to get from the car to the. So that's why I initially said in the first one, it looked like the pacing was off because it took them 3 hours to get to the top of Wolf Creek to look down at their car, and it's like that really only looks like a half an hour walk.
Mhm.
So, and same thing happened in this one. So, they walk all the way there and then next minute they're walking away. So why take all that time out to go to a place like that? You've got your packs on. Are you not allowed to stay there?
Well,
It's like, why go
yeah,
there for a visit?
yeah.
Why
It
go
seems
all the way out? Yeah. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. God, I'm rude.
No. Just we're it's called a conversation. We're trying to think of the logic behind. You're not going to spend an entire day or going out completely out of civilization just to go see this thing. It's like
No.
Nevada, the Grand Canyon. You go to the Grand Canyon, it's only like an hour or 40 minutes away from Las Vegas.
Right,
It's not
yes,
that far.
yes.
Do you know what I mean? You
Yep.
go for a day trip,
Yes.
but the
Absolutely.
way the way they're portraying in this movie, you're going on a week long expedition basically out into the wilderness just to see this thing, and it doesn't make sense how it's and the signs and all with this
Yeah,
look as if it's just forgotten about. Where
exactly. I don't know. I don't know.
but is
It's
that
just
maybe part of the aesthetic of the movie to make it look dour and forgotten and the sense of hopelessness that what are you doing out
it
here?
has to. It has to, right? So that well, to make it mix hunting ground. So, police aren't going to go out there all the time because it's not a paved road, all that sort of stuff. So
But at the same time, in reality, there's helicopters, there's plane rides, there's
yeah,
stuff going on.
yeah, there might even be some lakes there for all we know.
Yeah.
In reality.
Um yeah, we were talking about that. Not 100%. They've kind of just skirted on the edge of it.
Yeah. Oh, oh, you're a dag. My crazy tinfoiled hats, men, friends. Look
Ah,
at
that's
you.
all fun.
It is. It is. I love them. Yeah. No. Yeah. Wolf Creek. Oh God, what an anomaly.
But yeah, obviously Mick hasn't forgotten about them. He's decided they're his target. And
Yep.
yeah, that's it. And
He
we'll
must
basically
have
get a
known where they were heading. He must have known they were heading there or something. Because I don't know. It's like how did he know to find them?
well,
Mm.
I suppose if people are hitchhiking, that's where they're going to.
Yeah, of
He
course.
scoped out
Yeah.
the tourists in the area, and there's only so many towns they're going to stop
Yes.
at. And
Yes, of
he,
course.
it's like knowing I don't know, the game trails. When he's right in the wilderness
Yep.
hunting, you know what the game trails are. He's basically applying that same logic.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. Yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
So
make sense.
yeah, he's going to
Yeah.
turn up. And I was with him. He actually made some very good points to the tourists.
About being foreigners?
No, about
Australia? No.
about just camping and leaving a bushfire, just
Right.
leaving the
Yes, yes.
campfire unattended.
When it turned up. Yep. You're right. Yep. They didn't put it out properly, and yes, they could have caused a major fire.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, tourists do that. They go on camping places they're not supposed to. That happens over here all the frickin' time. My
Yeah, that's just
God.
basics. You don't. Ah, God. Because of where we are, it's very temperate, so don't have up. But during the summer when it dries out, like I remember, uh, one time up in the morning, some idiot set fire to the Tullymore Forest. You know what I mean? And that took 10 years for it to start to grow back.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I mean, it was bad. That was the worst I think we ever had. And it was
Oh,
beautiful. It's a beautiful big forest. You know what I mean? It's Do you know Game of Thrones?
yeah,
You know when they're doing like a
of
horse
course.
chasing scene through Westeros?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all
Oh,
Tullamore Forest.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I
That's
laughed because
amazing.
I remembered that's where the Duke of Edinburgh's award, the bronze, and that's where all the training stuff. And I just think it's funny they're riding about the horses now. I would be around the same areas with a map and compass,
Oh my gosh. Wow, cool.
But yeah, that some idiot with a campfire, yeah, wiped out
Oh,
the forest, and it took 10 years for it to grow back.
oh my God.
And you could actually see it over the because I used to go up the hills all the time, and you'd see the greenery start to come. It was absolutely devastated, and you could smell the smoke in the air for about a year,
That's
like the ash and
terrible.
stuff. It was actually like it, but then you could
Yeah.
see the next year the green shoots start to come back. Thankfully it recovered. But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
utter stupidity, and that's nothing the devastation that these idiots would cause there. So
Oh
I was
God,
actually
yeah.
not coming, Rick, when he was telling them off for that.
Yep, yep. Fair enough. It's what he did afterwards that wasn't that good.
No,
Uh,
but once again, we're not. What I was expecting was to go through the routine. I'll give you a lift back. Yes, we're going to go back to the junkyard again. We're going to go back through the same beats.
yeah,
But this is
not
where they've
even.
switched it up
Yep, thank God.
and made it a new movie, which
Yeah.
I'm grateful for, because that would, if it was just going to be beat for beat the same thing, then yeah, you may as well
Oh,
not bother.
no, exactly. Would have been boring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. No, they definitely wrapped it up in this one.
Yep. So Rukar wasn't going to play ball, so Mick just starts working out on him.
Jeevers.
Um,
What's
Rukar
scary?
makes the
Why do people camp? Why? Why do people go and camp? It's just too dangerous. It's not like it was in the old days where you could just go camping at the beach and all that sort of stuff. I mean, oh my God, you just don't do shit like that anymore. That's why horrors are around, so that people know not to do things like that.
Well, I
Anyway,
suppose that's why a horror film like this comes out in the time it did, because times have changed and things that were safe aren't.
and that's why they started to make movies about
And
it.
then that's,
Yeah, that's
once again,
right.
what is the primary, apart from entertainment, what is the primary function of horror?
It's a lesson. Yep,
Take heed, don't do the thing. The horror story showing you what happens when you do the thing. That's why you're being told
exactly.
to do it.
And then you go and do it, and then it all turns to shit, and you know why.
Mm-hmm.
Because you shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have done it. Your parents told you not to go, but you went anyway. You
Yep.
know? Yeah. Yeah, it's the parents I feel sorry for. They have to live with it for the rest of their lives because the stupid children didn't fricking listen to them. So, anyway.
But you get the whole, you get the whole idea of wanting to go on an adventure and do something, before you knuckle down into the grind.
Yeah,
We've all done, we've all been there wanting to do something,
big OE. Mm,
because nothing worse
yep.
than regrets later on in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah. And you
that's what,
can't stop doing things because of fear, I guess. But when it's danger, that's a different thing. So, I don't know.
but once
But
again,
backpacking,
in reality, there's organized tours,
yeah,
there's
which
sites,
is the safest way to do it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's the
Mm,
same as you don't go to some random foreign country without looking up the details about it and
that's
use the
right.
resorts, use the guides, and just don't go off on your own. Like,
But then we have Paul in here, right? And he's as avid historian on Australia, so he knows everything about Australia, as we learned. But then it still happened to him. So no matter how much research he did, how much he loves the country, he still got it. He still
yeah,
got
but that's
caught up in the web.
that's the wrong place, wrong time sort of scenario. I mean, that's
Right.
another beautiful aspect of horror, that you can be prepared as you want, but that one time you get caught out, or you step across the street at the wrong time, you
Yeah,
end up in a situation, which he did.
you're
But
right.
um, before Paul gets involved, because this is where that's where the story really took a corner
Goes
and
off.
became
Yep.
something else. Because this is
Yep.
following the same formula. They go to Wolf Creek, the camp, Mick rocks up, but this time, because they're not uh, playing ball, he just goes straight to violence. I would think it's just going to play out. It's going to be these two. That's going to be the whole movie.
Yeah, I
Well,
did.
what are we? We're about 15 minutes in,
Yeah.
10 to 15 minutes in, and I'm looking going, God, this is going to be a long movie with just her.
Oh yeah, but no. Oh God.
But
Oh
Rutger, Mick uses a trick with a knife, severing his spinal, cord,
yeah.
but he obviously
Yeah.
missed. And Rutger makes the classic mistake. Don't
Turn
just
your
hit them
back.
once.
Yeah.
If you hit the killer, hit them 100 times.
Yes.
Don't stop till there's bloody pulp because yeah,
Yeah. Till you know that person's dead and there's no coming back. Yeah. Take his head off.
yeah, just that's it. Just
Take the head off, because then even if it's a vampire or a zombie, they'll die without their head. So
yeah, that's always the
you
thing,
know
isn't
what I
it?
mean? Yeah, exactly. But what he did to Paul was oh no, not Paul. Sorry, Rooter.
Yeah, the
What
guy just
he did to him. That was one of the most brutal scenes I've seen. I think
that was really good, and everything looked realistic.
it did
Like when he chops his
definitely.
bits off,
I
and just
know.
waggling it about, you're like, whoa! I was one of those delayed moments of, oh right, oh shit, and then he starts joking about it.
Oh, I know. Oh god, it was gross, but at the same time, freaking heck, they ramped it up in this one. Oh man.
But it makes absolute sense as well.
Well,
It's a
yeah.
tourist spot. He's not going to leave bodies lying around, and he's got all the equipment there. He does it
Yeah.
with pigs, and that was actually a good setup, wasn't it? At the beginning
Oh,
with the
perfect. Yeah, yeah.
oh, I
They
just
picked the
realized that was a good setup with the back of the truck and the pig carcass in it.
Yep, yep. That was to let us know. That was really, really well done, actually. So, yeah, yeah, good setup.
Yep. So yeah, Rutger gets just chopped up.
Yeah,
I tell you what though,
and it,
that is
it
one
looks
serious
so
piece of
real.
machinery he has.
Yeah, yeah, he's got it all. Oh my god, the hooks, the blood on the bloody back window, the blood all over the place, the box where he could put people's bodies in, the hooks and chains. I mean, it's a bloody awesome, for a serial killer, it's a perfect vehicle.
Is it bad? I just heard that and then it's crikey. I just heard that in a Australian accent.
Cracky, yeah, you wait till you watch it.
Well, there's I believe, Joan. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a while.
Hi, you. I told him we were going live,
Uh,
so yay! It's been a
excellent.
while. Excellent.
But yeah, we got the whole setup. But I mean, the police called his truck a rust bucket and all this, but he has that thing in tip top condition. That's a tank.
Oh, it is. I mean, the
And
terrain that he went over was unbelievable. I mean, it's like he souped it up or something, souped up the engine or something. I don't know.
but even when he was chasing Cat, and he's going about the place and that, and like
Through the
anything
bush.
else would be like even Land Rovers and off road vehicles would have trouble.
Yeah, would. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was going through the bush and through the trees and knocking things over. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
wow. Yeah. And then the rocky terrain he had to go over. And yeah, man, it's one monster truck.
Yep. But then this is where Paul enters the story.
Yes.
He's got his little Jeep. Those things are toys. Like you could tell he's a
Yeah.
suburban city boy that doesn't know anything about the country because that's a
Oh,
toy. That's a
absolutely.
toy car for this run about the city. The
Yeah.
surfboard on the
Yeah.
top and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, you see his girlfriend ringing in, and yeah, she definitely looks like a city chick. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm.
I thought he was gonna. Well, he nearly did. I thought he was gonna run her over.
Yeah, well, he could have
Mm.
quite easily. Yeah. I don't know if I'd stop for somebody in the middle of the road looking like that either. I don't know. I don't know. It's too risky. There's too many.
Here's the problem. That's used now as a come on.
What
There's
is?
gangs. They'll have a girl looking as if she's in
Oh yes.
distress.
Yeah, yeah. And you stop, and they grab you.
Yeah.
They grab you out of your car, and you're gone. That's it. Yeah. And they use children too now.
Hmm.
So And of course, a child's going to break your heart. You know, you're seeing a little child out there on the road, and then you stop and pick it up, and then next minute you're in chains and chained to a wall, upside down, naked, with
Yeah.
bits hanging off. Yeah.
Or just getting robbed, or just even criminal
Yep.
stuff, not even serial killer stuff, but just normal criminal stuff. You get
Carjacked. Yeah.
yeah,
Or taken to ATM machine and all your money's wiped out. Yeah. It's just atrocious. Yeah.
that's
Yeah. You don't know who to trust anymore, you know. So my best advice is you pull over and you ring the police and they'll come and help that person. So that's a rule of thumb, people out there. Don't
I
pull over.
remember once I was going back home off duty, was heading home, and this guy was just laying in the middle of the road.
Oh no.
And I'm just like, right, okay, swerve, hands-free device, police, right. Guy lying in the middle of the road, here he is. I went round, obviously I'm not stopping, blah blah blah. Here's the reason why, no job. Don't stop.
Good on you.
No, but that's when I'm going back in the day when you're going to and from duty because you've got kit and stuff, you don't
Yep,
stop.
of
It's
course.
the security thing.
Yep.
So that was
Yeah,
it. You
of
just don't
course.
stop for anybody. It's but
Yeah.
you ring in. Because there's people watch your route, that's why you have to change to have
Yes.
3 routes. You had to have at least 3 routes going to and from work
Yes.
because you have to change
Yes.
them up because people are watching you. They're basically looking
Yep.
for an easy target.
Yep. Yep.
So
The same with those trucks that carry money.
Hmm.
They're not allowed to stop, no matter
No.
what, even if there's no. So
Yeah, it's certain jobs. That's it. There's no stopping whatsoever.
even if the police, I've had the misfortune of the police smacking into the back of me when they had to take off in an emergency, and the cop put down his window and he said, "Sorry, we're not allowed to stop. I'm sorry about your car," and he raced off, and I was like, "Oh fuck! Well, that's bloody great, isn't it?" But yeah, no, I read it up, and yeah, they're not allowed to stop if
Mhm.
they're on the way to a job, and it's like, so you're allowed to smash into the back of my car and just
Yeah, but
don't.
there's always, I think he got sorted out.
Yeah, well, no, I got rid of the car. So
Did the not claim it off him?
no, because they said they could. That's too bad. They stopped. There's nothing they could do about it. So I just got a
No,
new
there's nothing
car.
to do about it, but you get, insurance.
This was years ago. So now would be a completely different scenario. I wouldn't let them get away with it this time. But I was only in my 20s, so yeah, I was a bit of a fright. But yeah.
God, they used to put claims in all the time in Iraq. That was the worst thing because they were finding out they were like giving $400 for a car if it got bashed. On patrol once again they'll do the same thing. Weren't allowed to stop, or that they just get smashed. All of a sudden, people are appearing. And you'd think that we were hitting 10 to 20 cars every time you went out. Because they're trying to, they realized, free money, and all of a sudden everybody was getting their car smashed.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
Yeah, did it in Bosnia as
People
well.
find loopholes.
Yeah, that's a problem when you got people that don't understand how scummy some folks are given the opportunity. Oh, we'll be nice, we'll be hearts and minds. No, you're just being taken for a ride.
Oh, that's insane.
And honestly, every time you went out, it was like, oh, right, did we hit 20 cars today? Because there's guaranteed the watch, the soda, and about 200 claims come in. They hit our car.
Oh my goodness. Cheap way to get a new car. Cool.
Yeah, that was it. And the thing is, the prices they were saying was worth, in equivalent money, it was like $20 or something for the car. It wasn't 400, but they just, because of no appreciation of exchange rate or anything. Because
idiots,
well-intentioned morons in head office sort of thing come up with these policies.
Right. Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah. But this is relevant. It isn't a tangent. It's the sort of, you can see some of the culture, and there's something comes up later on in the movie towards the end that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why a lot of things happen. But anyway, Paul, he nearly smashes in the cat. He stops, he picks her up, and then the chase ensues. That was right. First of all, it's nighttime driving. Because I don't
Yeah.
think that was a lens. I think that was like proper nighttime driving.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yep.
So there's two stunt drivers.
Yep.
There's the scene that I mean, that's an off-road track. They're bouncing. Like you can't fake
Oh,
that. That
definitely.
wasn't models. That was cars racing.
Yep. Yep. I saw loads of physical props in this one. Mm.
Like and that alone. Like there's action movies. Can't do this.
No, no. Or they film during the day where it's nice and, and then they make it look like nighttime. But no.
No,
Yeah.
this is proper professional racers doing that. Using the two trucks. Or I wonder how many
Yeah.
versions of the
And
trucks they had. That I'm thinking of. Do you remember the film Christine?
yes.
Right, they
Yes.
used 27 Cadillacs.
Did
That
they?
movie. 23 were drivable and the rest were parts.
Wow.
They
Wait.
managed to get exactly the same color and everything. They used 27 cars in making that movie.
Cheapers.
So I am thinking they've got two or three versions. Like they must have at least two or three versions of mixed truck alone,
Yep.
and about
They'd
two or
have
three
to.
versions of that Jeep for those scenes. Because all you have to do is wreck an axle, and there's 2
Yeah.
weeks shooting done.
Yep. Yep. Or blow a tire and then you have to,
Yep.
yeah, postpones everything.
No, but
Yeah.
it's, well, tires replaceable. I mean, something like an axle. You think of the jumping and stuff they were doing. That's all it takes is just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Or
punch
your
of the
suspension. Mm.
fuel tank or something. The loads
Yep.
could happen.
Yeah. God, yeah. Because some of those rocks were massive, around the area. So, yeah, I was waiting for them to bomb out, because of it. But yeah.
No, but that's what I mean. That really well. You could tell they got professional drivers in for that scene,
Yep.
and it makes the movie like when you think once again you think of the budget and you think of the effort get in to make the high tension drama of because if that was fake, like always use it. What's it? Bad Boys 2, the chase in the middle of the highway or the Matrix. They're in the highway and it all looks fake and stupid.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you can actually almost see the explosion making the cars flip and stuff. It's just
Yeah.
you can't suspend disbelief.
Yeah. Like Fast and Furious, that sort
Yeah,
of
oh I
stuff.
got I never
Yep.
even watched. I don't watch that
Exactly.
utter crap. For flip's sake. I watched the first one. That was enough for me.
Yeah.
There's the one where
Yep.
they're going downhill in Tokyo. I watched a bit of that,
Oh,
but I didn't care.
God.
And that's it. That's all I've seen of that franchise, and I've no interest. It's just
Yeah.
but this you're actually on board thinking of, God, this is real. You're on board.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You have one car. Oh, so basically have an entire garage. Yeah, I can see. Yeah,
Oh,
I suppose that's the other way. Yeah, that's the other way to do it. Is
great.
yeah, do it that way. Yeah, but you can
Hmm.
tell that they had the prep because they're not messing about. They're
No.
not being safe. They're not using
No.
tricks. It's proper racing in this, and not action movie racing for fun. It's
No. No.
Paul has this girl covered in blood screaming, and he's now getting chased by a psychopath, and he's driving for his life, and he doesn't have a clue what to do about it, and that's where he takes the wrong turn and everything else. And holy crap, you can just visualize being there or uh,
Oh,
being in the moment.
it's visceral. It does. It feels like you're there. And I mean, his acting, oh, he's phenomenal. The terror on his face, and he just was great. He was great. I don't know who he is, but that, oh, man.
Yeah, because you can see straight away he's a city wide boy. He's comfortable lifestyle, never been challenged. He's all bit of this, bit of that. Harmless.
Yeah, yeah.
And now all of a sudden his
He's put in
world
this, yeah,
has been
upside
turned upside
down.
down.
Sad.
And that's
Yeah.
before anything else. This is just him getting the initial chase.
Yeah.
God, the scene where like he he comes to a stop, and Mick's basically ready to knock him over the edge. But
Oh God. Oh, my heart was racing. Yeah.
or no, that's he just stops, and then Mick appears, and he just kneels down before the crack goes off, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Oh my gosh. Fuck. And yeah, man. He's lucky he bent down. Well, that would have been his head gone. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that was brutal. Like once
That was
again,
brutal.
the use of camera flashes that that could have looked, if they hadn't lingered on it, you would have got the
Yes.
prosthetics. But the fact is, blink, turn, and the use the camera shot to cut away, so you get the idea, you get the emotion of it, but then it cuts away just enough that you don't linger on the special effects,
Ye- Yes.
and then the acting
That's
takes over to sell the scene.
Yep, that's right. And that's how a movie should be done. Yeah. Yeah, no, great. That was horrifying what happened to her, but that it was a really well done scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very visceral, very
But
emotional.
the actor sold it.
He did well. That honestly, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. It was just massive. It was awesome. It was just. Even the terror on his face. I mean, and the eyes, his eyes leaking, and his snot coming out of his nose.
Mhm.
You know, that's what That's what terror looks like. It's not clean face, and you know,
Loads
all
of
that.
exposition. Oh, she's just been shot.
Yeah,
Oh, her face has come off. Let's linger on it and ruin the special
yeah,
effect.
yeah, exactly. But no. That's really well balanced. A lot of the scenes are, considering they're quite horrific. Yeah, well done. Mm.
But this is once again, the big studios keep using the excuse of money and budget. This movie proves no, that's a load of crap.
It's a
If you
load of
have
shit.
vision and talent,
Yep,
you can
that's
do
right.
anything with a limited budget.
Oh, 100%. Yep. I mean, that's a tiny budget for what they did.
But
My
this
gosh.
film, I would put up there. Like, if
Yeah,
this got a cinematic release at the time against any other, is it really?
yeah.
Well, it is. It is a slasher, yeah.
It's a slasher.
But you put that up against other slashers, and this is a step above.
Oh yeah. Yep. Honestly,
It's
he's
a bit more. It's more to it than just a slasher.
it's kind of in line with, I would say, Dexter, if you know what I mean. Like,
Mm,
if I had to pick someone who would compare, I would say Dexter. And I'm only saying that because Dexter had a reason for doing what he did, and Mick's got a reason for doing what he's doing, and they're both brutal, but different. And different, of course, because one's a cop and one's,
I would say, yeah, but I would say the Dexter was more because it's TV. It'd be interesting when we go to the TV show, the TV series,
Yes,
and see how
that's
that
correct.
plays out.
Yep, yep,
Because that's where you'll need a bit more. Because Dexter's a TV show and he's introspective and he has the voice, basically in his own head trying to figure out what he is. He's self-aware.
yeah,
Where Mick he's invented his narrative to justify, which
yeah.
is a trait with serial killers anyway.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They have a narrative in their head, and there's a scene plays out later which absolutely shows that.
Yep.
Um,
Oh God, yeah.
this is not a reasonable person. It's if it wasn't the reasons he picked, it'd be something that they need a reason. That's why it's ritualistic. That's why serial killers are repetitive. They
Yeah.
have a certain MO. They have a method.
MO.
They're on a cause.
Signature,
Yep.
everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but this guy, I mean, Mick's just completely bonkers. He's an
Oh, he's a.
absolute, yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with, eh?
Mhm.
There's no, yeah,
But is that not the terrifying thing that
that is.
this is a force? That's the only thing that's come out lately that's even close. That's the Terrifier series. Because
I was going to say that before
Art the
Dexter.
clown is a force of nature.
Yes, he's a force of nature.
No reasoning
He
with, no
doesn't
talking to,
talk.
no talking down.
No, you're in his sights, you're gone
Yep.
before you even blink,
And you won't know
and yeah,
why.
I would. You don't know why. I mean, we got no idea why Art does what he does, and we don't know what Mick does what he does. So it'll be interesting to see if we get some backstory in the TV series. Mm.
Because you don't need it in the movie because it would ruin the pacing of the movie. This is very fast paced. It's a long movie, but it's very fast paced.
It is, and I didn't see anything in there that was fluffing around or filling it up with rubbish. It was really good, well contained, everything. Yeah, no, I didn't see anything that didn't gel, I think.
Yeah, because even the chase scene, after that, Cat gets killed. He then goes after him. The chase scene continues.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a wild ride too.
yeah, well, once again, professional drivers, nighttime chase scenes and that, and obviously Mick gets a car finally wrecked. This is where you lose sympathy though for Paul is when he has little moments of victory. He's like, yeah, and you're like, mate, don't count your chickens. Get the hell out of there.
I know. I know.
He's
I
doing his
was
victory
yelling
lap
at
before.
Yeah, I'm yelling at the TV going, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of there, you egg.
I was doing the same. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Stop arsing about. Don't cheer. Just fucking.
What are you, you dick? Oh my god,
But
get
do you
the
think
fuck
that's
out of there.
do you think that's part of the characterization though?
Oh,
I think that was deliberate. I don't think it was. I
it has
think it
to
was the.
be. Oh yeah, it's not. No, it's got nothing to do with the production. No, 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 no. They definitely made him naive and young and these
Idiotic.
little
He's never been.
yeah,
He's probably never even said boo to you in his life. Never mind getting
yeah.
punched
He's
or.
a pampered child.
Yeah,
Obviously, you could tell he's spoilt and stuff like that. And then we find out later on why he's so um, up there, if you know what I mean. Um, which is good to know because that adds to his characterization. That does, but yeah, no, it's obviously his personality coming
well,
through, and
working class people fly to Australia for their summer breaks from the UK.
they
That's
do.
no, they don't. Not working
They
class people.
don't
Ordinary
anymore.
working
No,
class people don't fly to Australia for the breaks. You
right?
need a
No,
bit
no,
of
no.
money. It's an expensive trip.
Yeah,
You're either saving up for years as a once in a lifetime thing, or mummy and daddy have, quite a bit of money and they're
yes.
going to help you along.
Yeah, especially since he's obviously got himself set up somewhere in Australia. So,
Mm.
because yeah, because he didn't have all his baggage and all that in the car. So obviously, I think he was going from one part of Australia to the other part. Maybe
This is a
I don't
clever
know.
thing to do. They don't give you precise locations that you can narrow down. So that
That
helps you
they
suspend
yeah,
disbelief.
yep, yep.
Yes,
It's great
Wolf
like
Creek
that.
exists, but it's deliberately vague because
Yeah.
I think those towns are made up as well.
Oh, most probably. Yeah.
Which I appreciate. That's clever because then you're not going to go, well, actually, from here to here is only this.
Yep.
Um, do you know why shows do that? They have a map and you know how long it takes to get through. And the
Yep.
mess about in one scene, I think it did it with the Rings of Power. Like from here to here is so many right,
Yes.
and they do it in like one scene as if it's overnight.
Yes.
And they did it in Game of Thrones as well. Even though it's fantasy, still
Yes.
you've got an idea of distance and how long it takes to get places. But in one scene, it takes like a whole month's worth of travel, and then next later on, it's like overnight to get there, and the map shrinks. Oh, what was it? Alien Prometheus did that as well. The distance between the Prometheus ship, the landing ship, and the temple
Yeah.
changed. Like it got shorter and longer
Uh,
depending on the scene throughout the movie.
Weird.
1 minute it was like an overnight walk to get there, like a hike, and next minute they're running back in 5 minutes. And they did this about 4 or 5 times during the movie. The distance changed between the 2 points,
Really? Oh my
depending
God.
on what the
As if
plot.
you wouldn't notice. As if you wouldn't notice,
Well, there's a reason why the movie's bombed and why people get pissed off. Like, people mightn't be able to articulate, if you know what I mean. People, not everybody's a big nerd that goes on the internet and talks about movies
Yeah, no.
on a every other day. Look at all this stuff. And that's the
Yeah,
problem. I
you
think I said this to start. Once you get your reviewer's head on it, you don't switch it off. You can't look at anything the same way again.
no.
But people know when something's not right.
Yep. Yep. Even something as small as the pacing. I mean, it might not seem like a big deal, but when you're a movie buff and you're paying to go and see this at the bloody movies, and if they've got all the stuff wrong, even the pacing and stuff like that, and you get, the viewer gets a bit suspicious that, you've cut corners and you might have to make it up further down the line with something else, but then that flopped, and then it's like, oh, well, the whole thing, it all falls apart. So, I like the way
Hollywood's
they did
going
that.
through that at the moment. They're pushing out flop after flop. People are burned out, and they're just not going to the cinema to watch their movies anymore.
No, they're not. No,
They don't
because it's a
care.
waste of money.
And
No.
they're unsubscribing from the services. They're people genuinely just don't care. They're just done.
Yeah,
and Hollywood doesn't know, because they're so far up their own arse. They don't know what to do. And it's
they're
like,
losers. There's so many independent producers out there, so many independent filmmakers out there. They could grab independent films and make them brilliant, with
decentralized,
huge budgets.
Just
decentralized, yes.
Or to use a term that the woke like, decolonize movies. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Hollywood is colonized, and Disney have colonized all movie making by banning everything. Let's decolonize movie making. There you go. They're determined to get placards up about and go rah 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 rah.
I like that.
Small, medium budget movies, bring those back.
Yeah. Exactly. Stop wasting money.
Don't use Southern Californians.
Oh yeah.
Just don't use them. Just if they're from that region or connected to Hollywood, just go, no thanks.
No thanks.
And crowdfund.
No.
And there's loads of ways to do it now.
Yeah.
You got your story out.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah. That's right. Criticism. Oh my God.
It will end soon when your wife sees us.
Yeah,
you're getting a frown hand in the back of the head, Chris.
Or a divorce papers tomorrow morning. Oh, Chris.
Well, yeah, Mick isn't a hero in this, by the way.
What do you mean?
Well, his first end, when he gets away from Mick, he just goes somewhere and he dumps Kat's body, sticks her in a sleeping bag, and just leaves her there.
Right, I see what you mean. No hero.
And then he smashes out the glass. I don't know what he was thinking about. No, he wasn't thinking good things. He's just like, I would get if he stopped, put her in a sleeping bag, put her in the back of the thing to take her somewhere.
To the hospital or the police.
Well,
yeah.
The police, yeah. Which is past needing I don't think a hospital can help at this point.
Oh, but if you find a dead body, you take it to the hospital.
But I can understand treating her with a bit of reverence, putting her in a sleeping bag, but yeah.
They'll be arresting you on the spot. You got a dead body in your trunk. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, anyway.
I could get him not wanting to flopping about beside him in the passenger seat. Yes.
Oh, I get that.
But the fact he just dumped her and then chucked out the glass and almost as if he's thinking in his head, I'm going to drive into town as if it's never happened.
That's exactly what it looked like. I think that was the point, and no, it didn't work out that way. because okay, he didn't leave any sign marks to let anybody know where she is, or how the hell is he going to find his way back to that place? So he's obviously going to dump her. He's
Yeah,
just dumped
in
her. And
2013, this you know, I mean,
is that when this was made?
wasn't it 2013? It was. It's not a.
Wow.
Hang on, let me
Gee,
double check. 2013, yeah.
holy moly.
So we haven't got the phone technology, you know what I mean? We still maybe got Garvin's, you know, sat nav just really
Just, yeah, yeah,
becoming a thing. Like you're still having to use road atlases
yeah,
in 2013.
yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole thing with
Um,
the phones and that hasn't properly caught up yet. I don't think people realize how quickly technology's advanced even in the last 20 years.
I know, no, it's phenomenal. I get a bit confused about what was around and what wasn't.
'Cause
Sometimes,
it's moved at such a rapid pace. Like the idea of having Wi-Fi, like that wasn't there's still ISD, it was still fiber optic lines with the new technology.
yeah,
Now it's a
yeah, yeah,
standard. You know what I mean? Actively all copper wiring for phones and that and internet connections being replaced, you know. It's they don't any new connect are not done with copper. That's done. That's technology of the past.
yeah.
Um
Fiber optics now, baby.
20 yeah, around 2007 or 8. That's when I got my first mobile internet thing that you plugged.
Oh
Actually, it was a
yes,
USB stick that you plugged into the computer, and it cost an
yep,
absolute fortune
yep, yep,
because you were
yep.
paying mobile rates.
Yeah. Well, we had dial up till like freaking heck, 2007 or something. We
Yeah.
were still. It's just insane.
So this movie works in that respect that the technology of the day is not the isolation's there,
Yeah,
and
and you really could not date this. Like they didn't give any information, they didn't give it away that it's any or like any era, if you
mm,
know what I mean. It could have been the 80s, it could have been the 90s, it could have been the 2000s. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that because it had an older flavor to it, I think. More like Wrong Turn or, Chainsaw Massacre or
yeah.
something like that. Mm.
Oh well, the latest Chainsaw Massacre that came out there. When was that? Was that 2 years ago?
No, I haven't watched it. No, I've got to get around to
It's
it.
worth it for the honest. It's a horrible movie. It's dumb,
Yeah,
but it's worth it for the bus scene.
for the bus scene.
For
Oh,
the bus
okay, I
scene,
have to
I'll
look
just say
out for
that
that.
the whole
Okay,
movie, the whole movie's worth it just for the bus scene alone.
all right,
And if you see the
sweet.
bus scene, you'll know exactly where I'm coming from. It just calls out to you.
Okay. Oh, great, awesome.
Yeah, that's one thing to do really well is to keep it. The only actual point that we can look up on a map here is Wolf Creek itself.
Yeah,
Everything else is kept vague, which is cool. We know it's
yeah,
demonstrated. That's it. But we're kept between signposts and everything else that you can't go, well, they're here, so it must be there. You can't do that, and that's what you need with this
because
movie.
Australia is ginormous. It's freaking. If you have a look on the map, of course, you can see it's one of the biggest continents. I think it is, and most of it's in desert. Most of
Mhm.
it's desert. So I love the way they did that, so that people can't go. Well, Wolf Creek's up here, and you did the film down there in the south. How's that? That's not the right location. But even Australians, I don't think even gave a shit about that because the films are so well done. They're really, really well done.
What was it? Steve and I were talking about when we were doing Hammer. Like when you enjoy a movie, you don't look for the mistakes.
That's right.
When you're enjoying yourself and you're invested, you don't go digging. It's when you're not enjoying yourself, you start going, "Oh, that's wrong, that's wrong," and then you start peeling away, and it's like a scab. You can't help but pick at
Yep,
it.
yep. That's right. You look for the negatives, you'll find them.
Yeah. So the fact of this movie is you're invested. It's great.
Yep.
This is the only ridiculous bit, and like this is where I basically say it's went borderline. It could went the other direction. It's when Mick gets his upgrade from his truck And
Yes. I love that scene. That's one of my favourite scenes was the kangaroos.
oh god, they were terrible.
But it's so well done. And I know they're fake, thank God,
They're CGI.
obviously.
That's
Yeah. But I think they put some physical props in there when they when he ran over them. Do you know what I mean? I
they've
think he
combined it with
somehow yes, yes.
but
Yeah.
Mick basically kills a truck driver like a massive rig, and that's when he starts chasing Paul in.
Mm. It gave me the vibes of what's that roads chase? The truck that chases down the
Yes, there's about three of them, and I keep mixing them up.
they're all
Um,
this year. That was that
the
genre
guy's in
for
like
that.
black sedan, and he gets chased
Yes.
all the way, and it's just the two of them, and it
And they're
ends.
at a motel.
Hmm?
And then he comes and then they're at a motel. He chases them down to a motel or something. Or is that another one
There's
again?
one. There's one with the guy's on his own, and
Yep.
it's just the two of them on the road,
Yep.
and you
Yep.
never see
There's
the
that
truck
one.
driver. It's almost as if the thing's haunted.
Yes.
And
That's
there's another one where there's like a group of. There's about three of these
yes.
main movies that go along this. Road Killer, is that the 70s one where
That's
the
it.
guy's on his own? But there's another two of them. There's one where there's a group of kids, but you actually see the truck driver and you talk to him. He talks to them and
Yes.
stuff. And there's a third one which is very similar to Road Killer, but it's they've twisted it a bit.
It's
So yeah,
upgraded. Yep.
but once again,
Yep.
this is classic horror, isn't it? Isolate. You're on a deserted road. You're away from civilization. Anything can happen to you,
Oh yeah.
and you're ill
Absolutely.
prepared. Like he's in his little city jeep, and he's going up against somebody who lives in the area and hunts and effectively owns the area. And he even made a thing about, I know this place like the back of my hand. He knows it.
Exactly.
You're not going to win, but yeah, he's
Yeah.
getting chased down, and yeah, Mick's just going for it.
Yeah. Yep, he is. Yeah, I mean the kangaroos did look sci-fi, obviously, very much like what happened in Lord of the Rings with what's his face getting on the horse, Legolas getting on the horse and
Oh
his
yeah, that
arms
bit, yep.
twisted. Yeah, so that kind of happened with a couple of the kangaroos I saw happening. But you can just flick and leave it, you watch, and it's not one that you overanalyze.
No, because we're
Too
having a good
particularly.
time at the end of the day.
That's
Like I said,
right.
this is
Yeah.
where if there had been too much of that, it would have ruined the movie.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
absolutely.
saying it went right to the
Any
precipice
Yep.
with that
Any
scene.
more, and that would have been it. That would have gone tipped straight over. Yeah. So they
Would have went
managed
into
it.
ridiculousness and would have lost the whole horror.
Yeah.
This is where horror, and I know you need moments of levity,
Yes.
but if you're trying to be a serious horror, don't go into horror comedy. But there's also the other
No,
way where people want to make a horror comedy, but they don't go over
it
that
doesn't
line and
work.
it doesn't land.
Yes, it doesn't
It's
land.
a
Yeah.
really fine line, and this is a moment where you
Yes.
can see the precipice. You can actually see the edge where,
Yes.
right, you have two choices here. You either that's the edge, you go no further and you bring yourself back, or you go over it and the whole movie changes and you ruin it. And this is
Yep.
where they pull back.
Yep. That's because it's not American, right? So, because sorry, but America can't do funny horrors or comedy horrors. They can't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They have to go over that line.
They have to go over the line. They do because that's what they do.
It's
But
culture.
then you get
It's different
yeah,
cultures do different things.
it
That's
is.
where
You get Australia and New Zealand. I have to say, and we do the best comedy horrors. And then you get Americans who just take it too far.
Yeah, we've
And
talked
it's
about
not,
that.
it
Like
doesn't land.
there
Yeah,
hasn't been we haven't found one yet. Like a gripping horror from New Zealand. Most of the input from your neck of the woods is all comedy horror.
I know. I know. I'm going to have to change that.
The UK had it.
Yep.
When we're going over the Hammer horror, like UK had its day and it's past
It's gone
in the horror genre, which is a shame. There's a couple of independent studios trying to bring it back, but basically it's non-existent over here
Yeah.
because everything gets compared to that era of the 50s and 60s.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
And
just
I think there's a reluctance to, although Amicus is trying to start back up again.
okay.
There's an Amicus one coming out in September time.
Wow.
So they're trying to, so we'll see how that goes. Hammer's been
Hmm.
bought over by Alex Gore, and he's starting to re-release the old stuff again, and remaster it and stuff. So there might be a return to form, and that might be the new era of British horror again.
Man, that would be good because yeah, you guys do nothing.
Well,
You
'cause
guys do nothing.
the problem is the culture over here is, oh, what's America doing? We just do that.
Oh, okay. All
Just
right.
brain dead zombies in London. That's the problem. The problem with the UK is London.
London.
That's
I've heard. Mm,
it's just its own
yeah.
entity, and it dictates the rest of the country, and it's not a nice place. And we've lost the vibrancy of the United Kingdom, of all the
Jeez.
different culture, the actual indigenous cultures. We've lost a lot. It's all this
Oh no.
generic beige metropolitan London sort of
Yeah.
people.
Oh God. Oh well. I
But
hope.
that's
Hope.
things come and go, trends pass and fade, and new ones happen. So there's
Yep.
always nothing's ever static, nothing's ever forever.
No. 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 Always goes up and down. Yep.
Yeah. But the good thing about this is we can explore. If we never watched another new movie, it doesn't matter
No.
because there's more than enough stuff there being made and out there. I can get through in 20 lifetimes.
Yep. Damn right.
I
Damn.
I was looking. Our friend Calvin's got a new movie coming out, and I was looking in Tubi because he
Yeah.
normally releases the movies on Tubi, and I
Oh,
haven't heard yet.
okay.
But I just went to the horror section in Tubi and just scrolled and scrolled. I'm like, yeah, yeah,
Oh.
haven't seen that, haven't seen that, haven't seen that, haven't seen that. And you're just hundreds of movies. You're just like, where
Oh,
is the time?
you go to
That's one
Facebook.
platform.
Yep. YouTube as well. YouTube free horror video. I mean,
Mhm.
there's hundreds and millions of them. Millions of them. They're all over the place. I watched one yesterday called Quarries.
Mhm.
Have you reviewed that yet? Quarries? That's
No.
quite a good. That's quite a
I
good
haven't
one.
been
But
doing
it's
anything new because of the schedule here and the things we're all sticking to. Plus, I'm a wee bit busy with other projects in the background.
of course you are.
Which is
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
up
yeah.
very, very soon. Believe it or not, this thing's 3 weeks away.
Oh my gosh!
We're there's like a week and a bit, just over a week left of submissions,
Wow,
and I'm
man, you're
working through what I've
fast.
got so far, and it's shaping up. And within 3 weeks, Volume 2 is going to be out. There's also a few other things in the background I'm working on. So movies, in terms of streams, etc. Everyone's probably noticed this year. I've pared back, but I told you that at the start
That's
of the
good.
year, I
Yep,
wasn't going to
yep,
be streaming every day anymore or doing the news articles every day because there's other things
no,
in the pipeline.
yep. You got way
Unfortunately, that
more
means
important things to do.
there's a bunch of movies that have come out this year so far, and I haven't watched them because I watched The Gorge and it was weird.
Oh, you did watch it.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
pacing was all over the place. I enjoyed it at the start. It was a good movie at the beginning, and then it just fell apart.
Okay, cool. All right.
Um, but that's really it. I haven't
Interesting.
been. There's nothing jumping out at me.
No, I've just got people just telling me, "Oh, you got to watch this. You got to watch this," and some of them are actually from 2017, and I'm like, "Whoa, what? How did I not know this?" Yeah, so yeah, there's like you said, there's a plethora of freaking movies out there to watch.
Well, this is an example of a hidden gem.
It is, yes, yes. Actually, Wolf Creek's got a very good following. It's a classic, isn't it? Really, cult
It's a cult
classic.
following, but it needs to.
Yeah.
This is one that needs to get out there.
Oh,
This is
without a
one
doubt.
that more horror fans need to become aware of,
Yes.
especially in preparation for uh, Wolf Creek 3.
Yeah. I mean, oh God, it just frustrates me that people just want to watch American horrors. They don't want to watch horrors from around the world.
It's they don't
It's
know anything else.
narrow-minded. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god, Korean horror!
Oh,
Korean horror is amazing. Like some
so
of the
is
stuff they
Japanese.
put
So is Japanese.
out.
Exactly.
J horror is a different. Well, like Ringu and Sadako versus Shimara and all that. You know, what I mean, there's loads of J horror, but they vary. You know, some of them are ridiculous.
Yes, of
And
course.
then
Of
Flea and I
course.
do horror anime on a every other Sunday, so we're looking at the
Yes,
you know, and some of that stuff's proper dark. It's
it's
great.
it's vicious. It's vicious. Anime horror is because you can do whatever you want on that.
But you have to
You
make
know?
it believable as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if the actors were terrible, and if the scenes,
Oh, yeah.
if the drawing wasn't phenomenal, you wouldn't buy in.
No, 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 because I'm not into anime, but my family is,
Mhm.
and I get to see some of the stuff on there, and I'm like, "And you're calling me a horror freak? Oh my goodness, you just annihilated a whole village."
Mhm.
You know? And God of War. I mean, don't tell me that's not a horror.
Yeah, there's some great stuff, but French horror. Have you ever watched any of that, French horror movies?
No.
They are visceral.
No.
Martyrs. I wholly recommend Martyrs.
Mortars.
Martyrs. Martyrs. Martyrs, as in
Oh,
to be a martyr.
martyrs. Oh, a martyr.
Yeah,
Duh.
martyr.
Yep.
Sorry, dodgy accent.
Wow.
Yeah, I 100% recommend that movie. That movie is brutal.
Oh,
I still
wow.
haven't seen the American remake. No interest. What's it? Speak No
America.
Evil, Dutch film.
I think I've watched that. And it's got subtitles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's partly, but it's also partly in English. But they've once again they did an
Yeah.
American remake. No interest.
Oh no, it's the American one I watched.
What with God, what do you call him? Scottish guy.
Will Ferrell. No, no,
No,
not Will Ferrell.
you know who I mean.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Um.
But yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
what's the original? That's only 2 years since they remade it. The Dutch
oh,
version. Because the director's God, what's he going to be doing? He's going to be doing a movie, and people are saying, "Oh no, not another remake." But he knows what it's like to be burned.
right by Hollywood.
Oh, flip! Eric just reviewed that recently. I'm at the. I need to watch that again. That's been years.
That's it. That's what I was just gonna
Oh,
say.
Serbian. Yeah,
Have you watched it?
yeah. But years ago, when it came out,
Ah, okay. I'm gonna have to try and find it because everyone's going on about it again. Thanks, Jay, because I really, really wanted to remember what the name of that film was.
bu- 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 can't find it. I'd comment. Somebody had mentioned it, made a comment next, and I
Who's
can't remember.
Eric?
But basically, the director of Speak No Evil, the original one's doing a remake himself, and people are complaining. I'm like, no, he's had his own creation remade and bastardized, so I think he'll come at it with a certain understanding of what that feels like.
Right.
Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? And
Oh,
sanitize
no.
the original. Watch the even though you've seen the remake, watch the original one, and oh my god, you'll be blown away.
I will. I
Once
will.
again, low budget, no special, one or two special effects.
Okay.
It's not a very. It's a psychological thriller.
Yep. That's on my
Or
list. Mm,
yeah, watch the
it's on
original
my
one. It's well worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, some of the French stuff. Oh, like there's a whole world of movies out there.
I know. I know. It's just finding them and finding the time to watch them. And then, 2 hours has gone by and it's like, oh, God. Mm.
But the chase with this, Paul, obviously, he does it again. He gets a wee bit ahead, and whoa, I've shown you what for, and the crash scene with the truck was brilliant. But
Oh, yes.
he doesn't realize
Oh,
he's just put himself in the crosshairs, that he's now in mixed hunting ground.
yeah. Is it a pommy thing?
I think it is.
Because he
But
doesn't
also,
seem
not all,
very
what I mean? If he was a northern lad,
right.
it'd be different.
Okay.
But once
No, but
again,
seriously, I mean, I did wonder, I mean, they said he was a pom, and
yeah,
obviously he is a pom because we know for real about the whole story. But
mhm.
yeah, it's just like he's just so oblivious. It's just like did they do that
I
deliberately?
think they did, because it's happened a couple of times. It's part of his character. He thinks he's a bit of a wide boy, and he's just in over his head, and I think it's a reaction.
Yeah, but no normal person would do that, right? So, I mean, you wouldn't. You just wouldn't celebrate. I don't know.
No,
You wouldn't. It's just
it's
yeah.
silly.
So
You'd be, but then
it
again,
is,
if you're,
but
he's a
I think
child.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's a pampered
absolutely.
child.
Well, I think we saw that when we first were introduced to him. I mean, he was in the car crying and sobbing over his girlfriend or something. So obviously, he's a sensitive young man. So I think that's probably, yeah, you're right. He's immature.
Yeah, he's just pampered
Yeah.
child, and he's in way over his head. So actually, yeah, it's silly what he's doing, but also makes sense. He doesn't know how to process
Yes.
these emotions and that, and he's just being a twat because
Yes.
he's like,
And his
he doesn't know
frontal
what else to
lobes
be. Yeah.
hasn't developed yet. So yeah, yeah.
The bit that annoyed me, and that's when I really lost sympathy with him, was obviously he ends up in the bush. That could be him
Oh,
finished. One bottle of water, half a bottle of water. Yeah, that's going to work.
yeah, yeah. No, it's not.
But he finds himself in a house, and he doesn't have basic manners.
No, no. Oh my God, thank you for rescuing me,
Oh,
Oh, wow.
even as simple. He doesn't have to be all flory about it, but just a thank you or hi. That scene really annoyed me.
It yeah, it was built up. It was built up to make us think there's something going on here. Are
I was
they
thinking
the
Sawyer family.
parents? Yeah, 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 yeah. I was thinking
I was
the
thinking
crumb.
Texas Chain. I think he finally
Yep,
met the Sawyer family.
yep, yep. Or Devil's Rejects or House
Mm,
of a Thousand Corpses or something, honestly, it was just like, wow, dude. Oh my God. He didn't act like a man that's just been rescued. That's for sure. But
yeah.
maybe it's a pommy thing again. Maybe he just
No, no,
they're not polite.
it's a twat
They
thing.
are
It's
polite.
a London twat thing.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Because
Yeah, so let's say he's from
any
London.
northern town, like I've been all over England, obviously, and you go to places like Newcastle or Liverpool or Manchester or
Oh God.
anywhere, people are nod at you, smile, talk to you.
Yep,
It's
yep.
yeah, it's
You
just
go to
him being
London and it's like you're just another number.
it's
Mm,
horrible. It's
yeah,
um yeah, and that's it. He annoyed me. He's just rude,
yeah, yeah. But I did end up thinking because I've already watched this, but I watched it many many years ago now. But I forget movies. Like oh yeah, next week I would have forgotten what happened in Wolf Creek. Maybe, but I was just it actually made me think. Hold on a minute, are these my mixed parents? Like there was something off about them. Why did they make? Did they do that deliberately to make us think they might be in on it?
Yeah, it's messing with
You know?
us. It's the same as the setup the German couple. This is what this has done great for a sequel. It hasn't went we've got to go bigger, got to go better, which it did though. But it's taken a few twists and turns, and it's leading you up a
Yes.
path, making you think, oh, it's going this direction, and then it
Yes.
veers off. And it's done this twice so far.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because if you think of the opening scene with the police, you think he's just going a rampage, daylight, create his chopper, anybody he meets. That's the way it works. And then it swapped to the couple, went back, and then you think, oh, this is going to be the focus. Then it swaps to Paul.
Yes.
Then Paul goes to the house. You think, oh, this is the way it's going to go. But it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Completely veers off track, which is excellent. I mean, come on. We don't need everything explained to us and all that sort of stuff. Subtext is brilliant. The vibe, the tone coming through in that scene with even the soup. I was wondering, did they put something in the soup?
I was looking at that. Reminds me of God, what was it my mum used to say to me when I went to my granny's house? Because my granny was a skinflint and she'd hardly put anything in the soup. So I was like, I liked your vegetables, but I didn't like your water. Because we in our family was always the broth, everything has to be like super thick, loads in it, or else people talk about you, that sort of thing. But my granny was a skinflint, so that was it. It was that sort of soup that she would serve. Oh, I just broke her. Oh dear, is that was that a soup too far? Did it just break down?
You broke it. I didn't know what happened.
The internet said enough of that. Used to having too much fun. Click.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. How dare you have fun? Hey, what was it? Skype's going. It's going in May.
Oh yeah, it's going by now.
Yeah, why is that? Oh well, anyway.
Well, it's
story.
When they built Teams, basically they want Teams to be the main platform, so they're basically getting rid of Skype now, so the carry on with Teams. I don't mind. I never liked Skype, to be honest.
Oh, that's the only one that works for me now. Oh dear. Oh well, never mind. What were we talking about?
No, we're just saying that the whole. I've just talked about my granny's soup because that's.
Yeah, that's right, the soup.
Yeah, I just brought back memories. It's funny.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes. Well, I was expecting a finger or something in the soup or something. So the tension really did. There was a lot of tension in that scene. Yeah, but he could. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, but then you could tell he's been mentally. The bravado, the brief moments of bravado he has is fake because he's broken.
Yeah.
Like the experience is shaking him to his core that he can barely speak.
Oh God, and then it gets worse, of course. But yeah, I mean, oh God, yeah. I think maybe that's what you're saying is true. He was just so traumatized by what's happened, he just couldn't even articulate a thank you. So I mean, if I was in that position, I'd probably do.
Well,
the
you
same
don't know
thing.
until you're in it.
Yeah. And you don't know who these people are and whether or not they're connected to Mick or, so, and as it worked out, not quite. Took it completely off track from what I was thinking.
The scene where Mick appears at the front gate.
Brilliant.
And he just tells him to go away, and you think that it's, like I said, you're just led one direction, but it's not that at all.
Yeah.
They're just in the way.
Yeah. Collateral damage. Yeah, he's very vengeful, isn't he? I'd like to know his story, really, because he's freaking brutal. He's a monster.
But sometimes there's no story.
I know, but there's got to be a story there somewhere, Or maybe I can make one up.
Yeah, that's it. You can make a backstory up. But is that not the danger? Is that not how we ended up with the anti-hero?
Oh yeah,
things that went the rat shit, because we're always curious about the backstory, what makes somebody like this, and then Hollywood is like, "Oh, do you know what? Every movie we're going to tell you."
I know. Yeah, I know.
And
it's like
they completely ruined the villain
backstory, but I know it's going to ruin it. But then and then you see no backstory in some of the indie films, and it's like, thank God you didn't put any backstory in, or you didn't show the aftermath, you know. So I suppose it's just depends on what the film is.
Mm-hmm.
Every film's different. Every
Yep.
film's different. Yeah, but
I
that
think,
scene when he was standing at the gate, it was just like, it's going to go off track right now. Yeah,
but
especially when you
right
hear
at
his
that moment, I did not know what way the movie was going.
No, no. No, you don't. I mean, because even though he looks like he's walked off, right, we know he's not walked off. There's no way he's walked away and left Paul in the safe hands of these two people
Yeah,
who can easily be taken out.
but we don't know
Mm,
what the fact that he walked off is it his parents, is his family?
that's right.
Are they going to
That,
deliver
they
him
got that's right.
with legit no idea? And that's what I love about this, is that at that
Yeah,
point you don't know what way it's going, and I miss that about movies.
I do too. And I miss that. I miss the subtext. I also miss the imagery, because they just don't do that. They just, I don't know. The censorship's fucking ridiculous, I don't know.
But
The horror scenes.
there's no horror movie. They're trying to build it for the generic audience. Everything's
Yeah,
built beige for the generic audience. And that's why they're trying to please everybody. And when you try to please everybody, you please nobody.
nobody. That's damn right.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. That's why
Yeah.
these little gems are so important to put back in the zeitgeist, for everybody to remember what horror used to be like. I mean, we've got Art the Clown, who's doing really, really well, but it's like, well, are you going to do a fourth one and then a fifth one and then a sixth one?
And then eventually
Oh,
it runs out of
God.
steam. Yeah.
Exactly. Finish with the third one. Oh, my God. Never mind. We don't need a fourth one. Just
Well, he's already
leave
making it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's, that's his one project.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got anything else in the tank.
Obviously
But,
not.
I mean, it's fair enough. It'll be a moment of his time. It'll live on. It's like, sure, there's icons we made from just one movie. Look at Sam character from Trick or Treat.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, that was just one movie, one anthology movie.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
yeah. Why? What? Give up now while you're ahead, and so that we can go, yay, Art the Clown is so freaking awesome, and we don't need a fourth one to go, oh, now I hate Art the Clown because it sucked. We don't want that.
well, he nearly did that with the second one. The second one was long and overboard.
It was long. Well, and there were some bits in there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he nearly ruined the franchise then. Lucky enough, he pulled it back.
Came
But
close. Came close.
we'll see what happens. But this one, I've got the TV series going to let me know. I think let us know if this has like long-term legs in it, and the fact that they're waiting like 2013 now. We're only talking about the third one coming out. That's actually a good chunk of time.
It's huge. It's over 10 years. Yeah.
But yeah, Mick comes back and these two get taken care of. That's it. And there's something even more, I don't know, brutal about him being on the horse scene and being on the horse.
Being on the horse?
Yeah, when Mick was on the horse, he took their horse and he.
When I saw the horse, I was like, okay, I know what he's going to be doing now.
Which makes sense. He's practical,
Cowboys and Indians.
Yeah. But it just shows that he's,
versatile
and he's proper.
Crazy.
He's off the land where Paul isn't. Paul's out of his depth.
I mean, I was expecting him to be riding it bareback, but he actually saddled it up, which was good pacing because it was like it fitted in perfectly with it going dark. And as to the time settings, because it was daytime when he got on the horse, we didn't see him get on the horse, but then he's out there looking at night. Now, some people might be thinking, oh, Why did it take him so long? Well, it's because he had to saddle up the horse, right? So
Mm.
I'm glad they did that because that added authenticity into that scene. Mm. And that was a frightening scene. I mean, being chased by somebody on a horse. I mean, they're so high up, he could have seen behind all the bushes and that. That scene pissed me off, actually. Him hiding. He could have done a better job.
Yep. Once again, Paul's out of his depth.
Yes. Yeah, and I was sitting there thinking, dude, you're going to get bitten by a snake. Oh, God.
That's what
What's
I was
worse?
surprised about. They must have cleared the area.
They must have. They have to because there's 10 deadly snakes.
They've
You
obviously
know,
went
in
out and they beat the area or
Australia.
something to clear it.
Yeah, yeah, they would have had to because he's lying on the ground, and
But,
stuff, and
but then
and the,
snakes only react like that if they're stepped on as well. So if there's loads of people
yep,
not walking about, they tend to scurry off anyway and like see you later.
yeah, but there might be one or two are like, ha ha ha, yum, free food, So I don't know. There must have been a lot of work to go into
Yeah,
this.
that's what.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
see the work, and that's another thing as well. You can see the effort being put in, so you're once again invested. That's what I really
yeah,
like about this movie.
yeah. Me too. Yeah. But yeah, no, I was just like, dude, oh my God, just hide, get down under the bush or something. I was just like, oh my God.
But he's
Yeah.
an idiot, so this is not he doesn't have a clue. But it didn't go on too long either because then he gets caught and that's
No.
it.
Yep. Yep. So he's obviously been looking for him for a while and he's finally maybe used tractors. I would say he's a tracker as
Hmm.
well. Like, yeah, definitely a tracker. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to find so many people because he follows their footprints, obviously, and that's how Paul got caught. Mm.
Yeah. And then this is where the movie really starts. Like there's still half an hour of this movie left to go. And you're thinking
Yeah,
to yourself, what are we going to do for the next half an hour?
but wait, there's more.
Yeah. Then we find out. It's like, holy crap.
Oh, yes. Wow. Bonkers.
Yeah. I really thought they were going to reuse the junkyard.
Thank God they didn't.
But I was expecting it to be, and this is once again where it could just fall back into the bottom, but they've actually, you can feel that it's part of the same complex that he's built.
Could be, or he's got another place.
Mm.
Like he's probably got a few places, I'd say, maybe. Mm.
Yeah, but this is someone that's been at this a long time and really, really perfected their craft.
He has, as you can see. Oh.
But yeah, he's sitting there, he's strapped to the chair, and I can get it. The first thing, I like the way he acted. The first thing when he woke up was the smell hit him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that primed you for, because do you know why they don't ever do that in a lot of cheesy movies? They never, that's one thing you have to convey across screen is the smell of something.
That's
And
right.
they usually gloss over that bit, and then that's why it feels that you're not
Not full.
invested.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sensory details. All of them. Yeah. Especially
So
smell, because taste and smell, because
mm,
if you're in a lair, you're going to smell a lot of things. Yep. And maybe that's one of your first senses when you wake up, is your smell.
but he acted that brilliantly.
He did.
He
That's
woke
what I
up and he
mean.
near
He's
gagged because
brilliant.
the realization of the smell, and that's it, and
Yeah.
that sets us up mentally for what's ahead.
Yes. It primes us up brilliantly for what's ahead. Because trust me, it gets worse.
Oh, yeah.
You can't think it would get worse, but it can. It does.
So obviously we got Mick, he's starting to mess with him. He shows him some of the bodies he's hung up. And this is all bad enough. And then we get to the 10 questions.
God. Wasn't that a brilliant scene? Man, his laugh is the best laugh I think they should They should bottle it in perfume. Honestly, he's just had to have perfected that in the mirror because his laugh is diabolical. Honestly, it's just brilliant.
But you think of all we have, right? We've had car scenes, we've had chases, we've had kangaroo, we've all happening, right?
Yep,
But the most brutal, visceral scene is just two blokes sitting facing one another. And that's the most intense part of this movie.
it is.
And
It
there's
is.
only two bits of actual violence,
Yep,
if you think about it.
that's right.
And yet it's the most intense part is that's those two sitting down.
Yeah, it gives you chills. It gives you chills. It's a play. It's a cat and mouse game. It's horrible. It's a horrible situation. I mean, what would you do?
Well,
You'd act just like he did. For survival.
can I push a button? Can I get him to, why wouldn't you try? That's the thing. Because I would do that, like, you're never getting out as a serial killer, but why wouldn't you try?
Yeah,
What have you, at that point, what have you got to lose?
you've got nothing to lose. So the best thing is to do what he did, and he went along with it.
Mm.
And I think that was a brilliant because no matter how immature he is, he actually used his brain when it came face to face with the monster.
Is that not the analogy of going through the crucible?
The what?
Going through the crucible, you get forged in the crucible, you come out the other side something different.
Oh, right. Yes.
Because the
Yes.
moment,
Yes. You're
so
right.
basically, scene is, and really for this point onwards, I suppose it was your warn folks spoilers. Like this is, if you can sort of guess it's a slasher movie stuff for the rest, but this is the bit where the movie comes together. So if you don't want to hear it, switch off now. You can come back
Yeah.
after you've watched it, because this is where the difference is between this and the first one. Is
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
nothing sexual, you know what I mean? Because it's been sexual with the girls and stuff, but there's nothing sexual here.
No.
Um, even makes it, he calls him a poof, doesn't he? Paul calls him one
Yeah.
that Mick absolutely loses his shit.
Yep. Yep. He
And
does.
then you start to realize, because he is a rapist, there's something, you know what I mean? You get a glimpse of a
Uh,
backstory.
yeah.
He has to
Yeah.
prove what a manly man he is. He's a broken individual, he's a monster. That little scene in itself was a trigger word to him, just set him off.
Oh. Yeah.
And Mick isn't a physically impressive looking person. You know what I mean? He's not a big
No.
gym buff dude, but you 100% believe he's that old guy. Muscle memory is, physical labor. He's a hunter. You're not going to win.
Yeah. That's why I compared him to Dexter is
Mm,
because of the they're just random everyday people,
mhm.
and they look weak, and I mean Dexter's only tiny, but look what he did,
Yeah.
and then Mick's only a cowboy,
Well, Michael
outback.
C. Hall's ripped. He's quite well built.
Oh, he is, yes,
Yeah.
of course. But and Dexter, he looks a bit smaller cop type of
Mm,
vibe, detective, forensics, whatever he was doing,
yeah.
blood spatter analysis. And then you've got Mick, who's just looks like an ordinary outback Australian that you'd bump into at a truck stop or the gas pump,
Mhm.
And you'd think he's innocuous. He's just
Yeah.
another
But you wouldn't
Australian
get
bloke.
a duff up with those guys because you're got your,
Well, yeah, yeah.
you know what I
You
mean?
have to know your P's and Q's when you're over in Australia, because
Yeah,
there's a lot of different scenarios going on over there. So
yeah.
this
Which,
really brought it to home, didn't it?
mhm.
Yeah, especially this scene with those two together is it's a diabolical scene. It really wraps it all up, doesn't it? And then it doesn't even finish after
No,
that,
no, that's the thing. You'd think this was the duff.
But the psychological play that he does is, oh my god, he's a master manipulator. He's a master. He's like, I'm going to give you these 10 questions, and if you get 5 right, I'll let you live. And it's like, yeah, fucking right you are. You're not going to let me live no matter what. But he tries.
No, I'll
He
asks
asks
you out
a
of here.
question.
He never said
Oh,
that.
I'll let
He
you
said,
out of there.
"I'll let you out of
That's
here."
right. Yeah, but that doesn't mean alive.
Yeah, that's but that's the
That's right. That's
this
what he
guy
means.
has the language and everything that he's got it
He does.
perfect. That he's if the government got hold of him, like he's the sort of person you could put in a room with if you have a black bag over your head.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
Oh,
I mean? He's
absolutely.
the one that gets a job,
Yep.
because he enjoys the craft.
Yeah, he does. That's why I said to be perfect as a mercenary. Yeah.
But he pulls out the angle grinder and is basically, oh, but if you get them wrong, I get a finger.
And even that in itself, I mean, that was nasty. That was a caveat that he didn't give. When he made the deal with, I'll give you 10 questions. It's like, okay, so and then you see the psychological horror coming in, and it's like it's worse than actually seeing the image of somebody's head decapitated. Uh, it was worse because you can
Mm-hmm.
see the play going on, and then when he left to go and get some more alcohol, and then you see the difference between the fake Paul trying to keep his shit together to the quivering mess. I
Yep.
mean, that was brutal in itself,
But
wasn't
this
it?
guy's a brilliant. I like this guy's. This guy's a great actor.
He,
I need to look him up and see what else he's been in. But this is
I know
role.
he's Australian, and I bet he's using a Pommy accent.
Hmm.
No doubt. Yeah, we'll have to look it up because
Yeah, I'll have
bloody
to look
hell,
him
he's
up
great.
because this guy played it. He the moments of
Oh,
bravado or fear, 100% fear, and then that moment he's actually breaking down because he doesn't know how to get out of it. But the moment he decides to swap hands because he has a plan to try and get away,
yes. It's
that's bravery. That's
it's brave and sad and brave and oh my god, and well, you have to lose a limb to get the tool you need that's out of reach, and he and he just said it, just take this hand, and it's like, oh my god, you're sacrificing a body part just so that you can perhaps reach the hammer,
mm-hmm.
because it's too far out of, and it was just like, oh my God, just you really put yourself in this situation. Like, I tried not to, but you do. You automatically put yourself in that situation. What would you do? And that's what this.
And I don't
That's
know if I
why
would have
this
thought
was
of that
brilliant. Really? No,
honestly.
no, you wouldn't. No, I think I would have given up anyway and just gone, just kill me. Just get it over and done with.
I would have had
But
just
he,
anger. Yeah, I would have tried, just the fight or something.
yeah,
Just be
fight going
struggling
down. Yeah,
because I know
yeah,
what
but
I'm like. Oh,
yeah,
doesn't mean I would win, but I know what I'm
yeah,
like. But yeah, that this guy sold that part. The
yeah,
actor, he really did sell it.
scary shit.
Actually, I'm gonna look that up while we're here because I'm really interested now.
His lair. Oh God.
Oh yeah, this is where Nathan Phillip. No, that's Ben.
Nathan Phillip.
No, wait, that's the wrong one. That's the first one. Because say we know Ben. Ben was the
Yes, that's right.
Rancor.
Ryan Core. Hmm.
Uh, prop reload. Oh, he is in Australia. You're right. He's in Australian. Born in Melbourne,
Ah,
1989.
yeah. All right. Yes, he's just put an accent on because I was like, why would they get a actor? Just needs to have a fake accent. Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes sense. He's playing. What's the accent everyone knows is the generic London one.
Yeah, exactly. And he looked Australian. That's why I was
Oh, he's
questioning
in
it.
Sting. Well, did he play the father? See if he played the father. Uh, he did. He played the father in Sting.
Sting?
Yeah, and the one about the big spider.
Oh, which I haven't watched. Right. That was only recent, was it? Like a few years ago?
God, that was only
2022?
24 last
23?
year.
24? Yeah, yeah. Oh, so, oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, cool. Because
Sting,
he's a great actor. I'm glad he's
yeah.
still acting.
House of the
Good.
Dragon. Yeah, he played the father. That's right. Hungry Ghosts. I like this.
Excellent.
His character was treated absolutely shit in that movie. It was a
Oh,
typical
really?
girl boss picking the. He's playing a stepdad and he's
Mm.
being just abused and treated like crap. Hacksaw Ridge. Oh, he was the
Oh, he's
lieutenant
done a
in.
few horrors.
Well, Hacksaw Ridge is a war movie. If you Andrew
No, I
Garfield
haven't
about
watched it.
the based on a true story about the army medic.
Right.
Japanese campaign. He got basically he saved like everybody. You know, this entire platoon
Oh, my
caught up her, and he was
gosh.
a what was it? A conscientious objector. He
Deceased.
wouldn't hold a weapon.
Right. Right. Really?
Yeah,
Oh, my gosh.
he's a medic. Oh, he's done. Oh, he's a massive, massive back catalogue.
Wow. Oh,
Oh
mind you,
God, he's
this was,
no 2007. Sorry, Piranha. Like, I was going. He's not that old. He was born after Piranha came out. Yeah, so
yeah.
he's done a range of movies here, not just horror movies. He's done a whole range of movies.
Our choice.
So there you go.
Ah,
Yeah, fair
cool.
play to him.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I thought he looked too Australian to be a bomb.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, he really does. Yeah, it's a good role he's in. He really owned this role. He sold it.
He did 100%. No, I don't think they could have chosen a better person.
No, just pure 100% casting, and like if
Yep.
there was no chemistry between these two, if there was no dedication, like I said, you can't have a scene like this with just two people in a room without having
No.
top quality actors.
Yep. Yep.
Everyone
Yep.
needs to be invested, or else it doesn't get sold.
No. No. That's the beauty about Australian and New Zealand films is they all work together for a common cause. You know, it might not always translate very well, but you know, I don't know.
No, but
Yeah.
I think that's the point we've been trying to make with this series that we started doing is to open people's eyes to these movies if they haven't seen them before,
Yep.
and
Yep.
understand there are options out there.
Yeah. There
You
are. You don't have to
don't
just
have
stick to Hollywood.
Yeah, you don't have to go with the slop. You don't have to always go
No,
to the fast food chain. You can go to the restaurant from time to time and get something bespoke.
exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, he gets a he whacks him with a hammer and pretty makes a difference. You know, that's someone's like genuinely tough.
Yeah.
If you're giving it your all and they're just like, "Oh, you hurt me. Ah, I'm gonna get you for that."
Yeah.
This whole lure as a trap, and
Oh,
wow, that's all I can say. It's just
wow. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting so many bodies.
no, but
Oh,
it didn't look
he's
cheesy.
no, it didn't. It looked like some were old, some were, different different stages of decomposition. So he's been doing it for a while because there's skeletons and then there's dead people and then there's one that we thought was dead.
And she's still alive, but she wishes she was dead. Just wow.
She may as well be dead because, oh, God blimey, there's no getting out of there. But, anyway.
And then we find out everything's a trap.
Yeah.
I knew when you saw everything, he found the dead end, and the fact that it looked too inviting, even before the first booby trap went off. I was like, nah, that's a setup.
Yeah, definitely. Why are you going down there? Don't go that way. Go the other way. It's like, no, okay. Yeah, it did. Like, oh, the stairs to get out. Not even.
No, there's a
Dead end.
I was a bit miffed for the scene with the dogs, but at the same time, I got it
Yes, yes.
because
I
it was
think that,
Paul accidentally triggered the trap. It wasn't deliberate.
yes, yes, yes. Oh, you're talking about what happened to the dog.
Yeah.
I know, but we know it's not real. But
Mhm.
yes, 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 yes. Hmm. Yeah, no, that was kind of cool though. That was kind of cool having dogs in there to chase him down, because it made the pace a bit faster, if you
Mhm.
know what I mean. Yeah, because then obviously, if you've been chased by a dog, you know that it's going to get you, unless you get up somewhere high.
Yeah, you're not going to think that's the whole point is to get the chase response. So he
Yeah,
has the punji pit lined up at the bottom of the stairs. That's the whole point of the trap.
yep,
And yeah, just there's no way Paul could win. Let's just put it like that. We'll not spoil it too much, but yeah, that whole ending scene right up the Mick gets him again. You're like, he never stood a chance.
no, no, not at all. But then the frickin' twist at the end, eh? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he just lets him go.
Just let him go. And I had to think hard about that because I was like, why? And then it occurred to me, um, perhaps he kept his word. Maybe, even though he's an absolute freaking psychopath, his word means a lot to him. Like when Paul said, you gave me your word that you were going to let me go, right? Or you let me out of here. Um, and he did. He kept to his word. He actually
Mm.
let him out, which could confuse a lot of people. But after and analysing it a bit further, I thought, well, okay, he doesn't want his lair to be found, and maybe he is keeping to his word. What does that mean for a serial killer to
But
keep
don't
to his word?
serial killers at their heart want to be immortalized? They want to be found. Is that not a crying thing in the back of their head as well?
Possibly with some serial killers. Yeah.
The
Some
ones that
serial
you know, what I mean, they take trophies, they leave messages, they want to be caught in the end
those ones.
because they want
Yes.
their name to go on.
Yes.
There's a whole
They want to be
study
known as legend.
on the phenomenon, but the fact is that Mick is with Paul forever.
Oh yeah.
You know, what I mean, he's dumped in the middle
Guilt.
of this, a street and that. And the only thing about the epilogue, I get that the why would the police try and charge him? But then again, we've got the setup at the beginning that a lot of police are arseholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they,
Maybe get guilty.
come and
The
stitch
other
him
way
up.
around. Yeah.
That seems to be a police officer's first thing is can I stitch this person up for something and get a case off my desk?
Yeah. Yeah. I hope they're not trying to get into the corrupt Australian police sort of thing because that's a
No,
bit
it's a
lame.
worldwide thing. It just seems to be generally a police thing. Is that okay? That's what they're automatically trying to do. Is you've come under
Yeah.
my radar. I now have to do some work. Can I stitch you up with
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, but he looked a bloody mess. So they probably had, whoa, what have you done? You've murdered somebody or something, because look at you. Look at the state of you. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it was
and
interesting. When I read the post credits, they said how they basically tried to convince him what happened, and then they tried to stitch him up, but then they sent him home when he was basically committed to a psychiatric hospital at the Merseyside. And you're like, that's not a Merseyside accent.
no,
That's a North, you know what I mean? That's generic
right.
London. It's like, that's just a case of not knowing.
Yep.
It'd be like me trying to say somewhere in New Zealand, not knowing the area because I've never been. So
Yep.
me
And
trying to
not
make stuff up
knowing,
and
yep,
thinking how
not you
people
knowing
are.
the lingo and stuff of certain places. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, correct. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I got that.
Yeah.
The only thing at the end is, like I said, when they tried to stitch him up, because that's what happened in the last movie. They tried to blame him for the the disappearances.
Yep.
I thought that's the only bit that was a bit repetitive.
Yeah, but it's true. That's what they did. They thought he did it. They
Mhm.
really did. They thought he was they thought he was the murderer. And it's like when they found out who it was like, well, that's a bit too late. You could have done the investigation if they had found Paul earlier. I mean, they didn't even ask him what happened. They just assumed it was him. They didn't actually get, and then they were, oh God, yeah, no, it's all over the
But
place.
that is
The
a
moon,
a general
yeah,
story. That's a universal story of what the police, maybe what they once were, but what they've definitely become.
yeah,
They're not. I think there's a discontent against the police
yeah.
in general. Nobody likes the policeman now because they're not. They used to be somebody that was looked up to. Now they're not.
Oh, I have to say, New Zealand police are pretty good. They really are. They're really approachable and all that sort of stuff. And there's really no corruption over here. But in Australia, there's been massive corruption, police corruption. They've been done majorly.
Mhm.
I don't know if you watch Underbelly or anything
I
over
don't
there.
know.
Yeah, no, well,
Don't do
yeah.
TV, don't do
So
news. 'Cause-
yeah, no, me neither. But that was a good one. That was a good Australian one. It let us know about the corruption in the New South Wales police and the Queensland police and all that sort of stuff. And so that was, yeah. So 2013, I'd say there was still a bit of corruption there. So maybe they did look at it that way. Guilty until proven innocent, as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah,
But then they blended the stories together, the true crimes together. So it's hard to pinpoint
no, and
things.
that's fair
So
enough. No, and
which is good
we're
because
not
we don't
watching a
want it.
documentary at the end of the day. We're watching a movie.
Right. That's right. Yeah. So that's why it's good that they've got inspired by true events, but they're not going to actually tell us exactly which 3 cases they're talking about. So
Mhm.
it's good. It's good.
But yeah, you could understand that guy Paul just breaking,
Oh,
not
wouldn't
being
you?
of
Yeah.
course.
And you're right. Because of the way it ended, he's going to have Mike mix inside him for the rest of his life because there's no closure. He never gets caught. We don't know what's going to happen with the 3rd edition. Legacy, I think they're calling it.
Mhm.
But that'll be interesting. Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed this. I was glad. I'm glad I'm finding it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, it seems silly, but I'm glad I'm finding it now to review and see and experience it for the first time, rather than oh yeah, I remember that from ages ago.
Yes.
There's the fact that it still holds up and it's a fresh movie. You can watch this today and it still holds up. It doesn't
Absolutely.
date, it doesn't age. It looks brilliant. It
Yeah.
puts a lot of movies at 200 million plus to shame.
Oh, it does. It does. It really shows up. A lot of
Mad Max
inconsistencies.
Fury Road. I'll use that as a recent example. Is it? Yeah,
Yep.
that was the first one. I never watched the second one.
Oh, Mad Max.
No, the remakes with Tom Hardy, or
Oh,
Tom
I
Hardy was
haven't.
in the remake. Is it Fury Road?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that's a modern retake of the Mad Max, and that was like hundreds of millions, and that looks
Yeah, because
cheesy
I
and
haven't
shit.
seen it because it looked like shit in the
Yeah,
trailer. Yeah, because I mean, sorry, as far as I'm concerned, the first 2 Mad Maxes were at the top of the line. The rest of them,
you didn't
they
want
all
to go
just were,
beyond the Thunderdome.
no, didn't want to go beyond the.
Don't appreciate Tina Turner's acting.
No, no,
I,
no, no, no.
I put that in it's so bad it's almost good. Sort of like
Exactly.
Tina Turner passes through terrible and comes through as something else on the other side. Oh my god. He
Oh
runs
no.
Bordertown. He
Oh
runs
god.
Bordertown.
Yeah. Oh my god. Jeepers.
Uh,
Oh no, it's terrible. It's
yes.
terrible. The first and the second ones were awesome. But then go and remake it. What are you doing? You can't remake Mad Max. It
Well,
is what it is.
they've tried it twice. They've done it that Fury. It is Fury Road with Tom Hardy and then
Yeah, which I
Anya
haven't
Taylor. And I
watched.
like Anya Taylor Joy, but
Yep.
they did another one with her. Oh, Furiosa, that's what it's called. I never even bothered. You're like,
No, I wouldn't bother.
but they flopped. But
Of course
they
they
were
would, because
10 times the budget at least, and they look
of the
awful.
originals. Yeah, yeah,
But of this movie, I don't even know what Mad Max was. Let's have a look.
and that was in the 80s. Oh my gosh. He was a young, strapping lad then.
Mad Max.
My Uncle Mel.
Mad Max 19. Oh my god, 1979.
Was it? Oh, wow. I
So I'm trying to
loved
find it
Dog.
because I think Mad Max is closer to this than Mad Max 2
Yes, yes,
in
yes, yes.
terms of
Yes,
narrative.
yes,
So I'm just
definitely.
trying to
Yeah, the first one
let's
rocked.
redo that again. I hate the way. Why doesn't IMDb give the budget? I have to go to Wikipedia to find the budgets of these movies.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
know.
Oh, right. So the original Mad Max is only 350 grand.
Holy shit. I bet that was back in 79. What would that
Yeah.
equate to now?
So let's
Yeah, a million, maybe? With inflation and shit.
yeah. Mad Max 2. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's Mad Max 2, 4.5 million. So I was way over the top. But this
Whoa!
was 1981.
Wow.
See, 2015. Fury Road was
Not watching it.
154. Yeah, 154 million. Minimum between 154 and 180. So let's say 185 million. This movie looks better than that at 1.7.
Oh my god.
This movie at 1.7 million dollars looks 100 times better than Mad Max Fury Road at 180 million. 10 times the budget. And that's what I mean
I
about. And we
fucking can't
have,
believe that.
and it's like we have car chases, we have tankers exploding, we have set pieces, we have location shots,
More cast. Yes. A bigger cast.
CGI kangaroos.
Wow. Yep.
So they even use CGI in it. All for 1.7. In fact, I'll give that. The CGI kangaroos look better because they managed to mix it in with the scenes of actual kangaroos on the
Yes.
road.
Running along. That's right.
They mixed it in to make it believable. It still looks better than half the dog shit out there today at hundreds of millions.
That is just criminal. It's criminal. You could save a small country with that money, and then it flopped. Fuckers.
Yeah, but they're paying the price now. Unfortunately, it takes a
Yeah.
long time for huge entities to twig on, but I do want to see Hollywood literally burn. I just want to see the end of it. It's a
Literally.
horrible entity. I want the people involved not to be anywhere
It's
near
toxic.
movie making
Yeah.
again. That would be
No,
the best
no.
outcome for
Yeah.
me. And then to be just remembered as a study piece for filmmakers. Don't go that road. Don't do that.
Yeah. That's right. Exactly. Shocking. I'm absolutely shocked by that amount of money. That's just crazy.
It's obscene.
It is. Yeah.
When you could see what can actually be made, and this is impactful.
And $1.5 million. I mean, fuck. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Can't beat it. I was emotionally involved with this movie.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, you had to be. You had to be because it just you invest in everyone and the scenario and everything. It's just like, you know, and to know it's such a, you know, you can watch it and it's not one that you have to pause halfway through and go and have a coffee and, you know,
Hmm.
get on the phone. It's one you want to watch from the beginning to the end without stopping. And that means it's a great movie. Mm.
That's always a telltale sign when you're invested and you're actually going along, and the twists and
Yep.
turns, you're with them on the twists and
Yeah.
turns.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, had a lot
Yes.
of fun. So we're gonna mix in. We're back to Wellington the Paranormal.
Yes, we
Yep.
are. It's been a while.
Well, that's obviously with the break and stuff, and yeah, over
Yeah.
the new year and stuff.
Yep.
Get back on it. But the plan is once we finish, I think Wellington the Paranormal's going to finish first because only 3 seasons.
Yep.
Then we're going to put Wolf Creek, the series. Was it 1 season or two
Brilliant.
seasons?
I'm not sure. I'll have to try and hunt it down. It'll probably be on Netflix, actually. I'll have a look. I'll find it.
Television series.
I didn't even know there was a television series till you told me last time. Had no idea.
It's an anthology series which centers on different characters being targeted by Chris, serial killer Mick Taylor. 2016 to
Oh,
2017. So there's only 2 seasons.
wow.
There's 2 seasons.
Excellent. Only 2
Episodes
seasons.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Might have flopped.
6.
Mm,
6 episodes. No, but then again, there's only 6 episodes a season.
wow.
It's only 12,
There's
12,
usually
12
about
episodes in
30.
total. So what they've
Wow.
went is less is more.
That's good. Oh my God, that's really good. Because, yeah, well, it's either they stopped because it's so good that they left it, you know, on a good note, or it flopped.
Hmm.
So,
Or it just didn't get the track. It didn't get the traction. That's the problem with TV, isn't it?
well, it is. It is because people
It
don't
might have
want to
been too
sit there.
dark for TV.
Could have been. Oh,
If
well, mind you.
if they're
Mm,
going with the same, if they're going to the same level as the
yes.
movies,
Yeah.
then it might have
Yeah.
just been a bit much for the TV networks.
Yep.
But we'll find out anyway. Like I said, we're gonna check it out all in
Yep.
preparation for Wolf Creek 3. So by the time we get through that, Wolf Creek 3 should be on its way, if not out.
It should be. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. You'll have to give Greg McLean a call.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I've got him in speed dial just to answer any random weirdos out there that want to
Exactly.
latch on to me.
Oh, goodness.
Ah, God. I can
Yeah.
picture that guy being at the end of your bed staring at you. Is it right yet? Is it right yet? The lunatics.
Bloody hell. I know.
Yeah,
Some
so
crazy
those
people out there.
there are indeed. Gotta love the
Mm.
internet. But there
Oh,
you go,
yeah.
Del. Thanks as always. It's been a laugh and
Thank you.
great talking about this. Thanks for everyone for tuning in and joining in the chat. And just easy to say, until next time, keep up to date with the channel, do the typical things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.